It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn.
Hey, Anthony.
Let me tell you something. The chocolate I just handed to you is the best chocolate you've ever had in your life?
It is the best chocolate I've ever had in my life.
Now say it.
Although, Bottega Louis?
The best chocolate you'll ever want to find in the entire world, I don't care what anybody says, is here in L.A. You can't find it online. You can't find it anywhere else in the world. You have to come to L.A. to have it, and it is the most amazing chocolate. I like chocolate.
Yeah, you are very passionate about that chocolate. So thanks for we're going to just do all chocolate related talk today.
Thanks for you being here.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
No, thanks for you being here.
But I will thank you, Anthony.
No, thank you.
This is part of our continuing series of focusing some of the properties that have been awarded 5 stars from the Forbes Travel Guide, because we've been attending the verified event that's taking place.
And have you
week.
noticed since we've been on mic this morning that I'm trying to make you as uncomfortable as humanly possible?
Not only have I noticed it, I'm trying to embrace it, but I'm having a hard time, but I am definitely feeling uncomfortable. And
But do you notice something, Glenn?
Yeah, what?
Do you notice our guest?
I did notice our guest.
Do you notice what he's wearing?
I did. He's wearing a lovely suit
and shirt without a tie, which is the uniform for the day of the verified event. Apparently, you didn't get the message because every person you're bumping into has a jacket, no tie, and a very nice shirt.
So I'm wearing a T-shirt and a tie. A big deal.
Who's our guest?
All right. So first of all, I need to defend myself. I'm recording podcast today. It's not on camera, so I am dressed comfortably. And if y'all don't like that, too bad. But I know one person who does like it, and I think really appreciates me wearing jeans and a special Untucked shirt. And that's Mr. Paul Berry, and he's the VP of Hotel Operations with the ARIA Resort and Casino Las Vegas. Paul, so great to have you here, man.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, and I think you look great.
Thank you.
I think you
look. Paul, did you shave this morning?
I did.
Did Glenn shave this morning?
I did.
No,
I actually did, but
I can't say yes or no.
So here's the deal. I did actually shave this morning. I'm just not a straight razor guy. I like the electric razor because I like a little of that stubble look, so it doesn't make me look like I'm in the fourth grade.
Now, just to be truthful, when we're not filming in a place like this, we're usually at the
Garden City
Hotel. And what do I look like? A homeless person.
Right. Which is really great. He really does look like a homeless person, especially if you're not shaving the top of your head over there. That's always a treat. But
so enough about me. Let's talk about Paul.
Yeah, Paul, man, I got to tell you, I not only do I love Las Vegas, but I love ARIA and what was when it first opened, the Greater City Center complex of it.
Correct.
And I remember going to Monte Carlo Hotel, going to some conference conference events, and looking over and watching them build this $10 billion thing. Yeah. And it was absolutely incredible to see what is it like being the VP of hotel operations for such a massive casino resort that you get hundreds of thousands of people a year at.
Oh, I have to tell you, it's like a dream come true. For all of us hoteliers, I'm blessed with being able to come into an environment every day where I'm inspired, where I work with a tremendous group of people, tremendous staff, and I get to, and the customers that come, fabulous, and in an environment that's ever changing. It's funny when you mentioned I was on the pre-opening team for what was known then at time at City Center, and it was 18 million square feet of space, built in 6 quick years, which was about the same time.
6 quick years.
It was built by Tishman, and I worked for Tishman at the time it was being built.
And we built it was built in the same amount of time. I was also on the pre-opening team of Bellagio at the same time, which is 6 million square feet, built in the same amount of time. So, boy, I'll tell you, days were fast-paced back then, but it was very, very exciting. And coming to work every day continues that excitement.
So, but you know what? Wait a second. I got to interrupt because I'm upset. I'm pissed off. Paul, right here, right now, is going to explain to you why he had me arrested.
Oh,
no.
Tell him why I was arrested.
What now?
I was arrested. Tell him why I was arrested.
I don't know. I can't recall.
It seems like a poker scheme gone awry is going to be my guess.
I was arrested at the ARIA.
Right.
I was
for being too good looking.
No, I was doing a show called 5 Star Secrets.
It's true.
And I was they were kind enough to allow us to come in and film their beautiful hotels. So I stayed in all their great, their great spaces. And I went down to the security area. There's 2 security areas, one for the casino and one for the hotel operations. They wouldn't obviously let me look at the casino operation, but they allowed us into the security area where the other cameras were, and there's a lot of them. Do you remember that moment?
I totally do.
So explain that to me.
No, you have to explain. No, okay. I wouldn't do it justice.
So I'm in this room, and now again our show's real, right? 100% real, nothing scripted, everything. We're just running and gunning. And I said to my director, I said, I know there's a million cameras here, but man, I'm from Brooklyn, man. They're not going to find me. I got to figure this out. I go, so we go in and we tell the gentleman that's running the cameras and the manager of security, Anthony wants to go, hide, and he says you can't find him. So
we took that challenge literally.
Yeah,
they took the challenge. Were you in the room when it happened? Okay, so so they allowed me to run.
Right,
I run. I commandeer a golf cart in the warehouse. I'm running around the warehouse with a golf cart. I decide to jump in an elevator. I come off the elevator. I run around some hallways, and I saw a plant. I was like, they'll never find me behind this plant.
Right.
I jump behind the plant. In about 1.2 seconds, there's a gentleman that taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, come with me.
Yep. Please, come with me, please.
Yeah, please. He was a gentleman.
At least he was polite.
Yes,
he was. He was very polite.
He was.
But what was fascinating to me is when I went back and saw the show myself, because I didn't see what was happening in the command center. It's like, all right, camera 2, camera 3, camera 2. Now he's camera 27. Now he's camera, and he knew exactly what camera.
They had you on the entire time.
The whole time.
And they found me like instantly. It was amazing.
Well, the thing that surprises me is that people don't realize when they're in a place such as ARIA that you are on camera all the time. And then these people do really dumb things like they're in their home. I can't imagine what that's like.
Let's say it's interesting.
Yeah.
It always provides some good entertainment.
Yeah, I bet.
And but on the other hand, on a serious note about that, it helps keep our buildings safe.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing more important as we go through any of our resorts than guest and employee safety. So we're glad and happy to have all of those cameras, and it didn't take long to find you.
You found me, and he doesn't want you to know this, and we didn't show it on camera.
Yeah.
But don't get in trouble because there's a cell.
There's a cell. Yeah, I know there's always that special room in the
the special room.
It's called, that special room's called a cell.
Yeah, but I feel like your team doesn't have the same liberties as they might have 20, 30 years ago.
That's true. That's probably true.
Yeah. So my experience in going through the ARIA was it was fascinating. One, I was at Tishman. I worked for Tishman in New York City at the hotels, and I was friends with some of the people that were on the construction side, and I was fascinated by just how big the complex was. But the one thing we were just talking about service and anticipatory service and just incredible people. And I remember a young lady, Shannon, worked for you.
She still does. She's still with us.
She's at
Mandalay Bay now.
At Mandalay Bay.
Yep.
I actually just spoke to her not too long ago. And just the way she made me feel when I was on set, I just remember just feeling really comfortable and really taken care of. And there was a young lady, can't remember her name, but she was working, I believe, one of the games that we did for the show. We were doing a game I wasn't familiar with. And she was explaining it to me. And she was just kind. Do you remember that?
I do.
She was just a very kind woman. And she didn't care about the cameras. She didn't care about that I was a host or maybe this little celebrity guy. She just I know you don't. And I remember there was a time you did care. And
yeah, but then I got to know you.
And then it's like, shit. And then, so she was just very, very kind. And just wanted to make sure I was taken care of. Yeah. I'm on camera interviewing her, and she wanted to make sure I was taken care of. And it was just a fabulous. So I remember the ARIA not because of how beautiful and great it is, but I remember because of the touch points, meaning the people.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, that's we take a lot of pride in that, and that's about our culture. We believe in genuineness and thoughtfulness and sincerity. You used anticipatory. Those are all words that are core to us. They are a belief to us, and it becomes second nature to us. Mm-hmm. And we take that seriously. We always say it's as if we're welcoming you into our home, and you want to feel just feel gracious with that.
Well, I always say hotels aren't hotels, they're homes. And, you're actually here at Beverly Hilton, which is our home for today. And apparently there's going to be some announcement tonight. You want to tell me what it is?
And just so you know, you can, because this won't be out until after everything is official.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. No, we're excited to be here. We're always excited to come to to the Forbes event, verified event. But we're so happy today to receive the 5-star award for our spa. It'll be our first time in receiving that. Yes. To go along with 7 consecutive years of the SkySuites winning.
Those SkySuites are absolutely a special place. So how did you make changes in the spa in the last year to take you over that edge to achieve that 5-star
Boy,
award?
it's been an odyssey too. This has been a journey that we've wanted to receive the 5-star award for over 10 years now, ever since the day we opened. That was a core mission.
Wow, I can't believe Aria has been open 10 years
I know.
Already. It's
insane. 10 years have gone very quick. And it came down to this simple thing. It was asking people one-on-one to buy into the mission, to buy into the environment, to buy into what we're looking to do. And when you talk to people one-on-one, you can see in their eyes that they agree with you.
Or don't.
And we're very fortunate that everybody really wanted to step up. And we had been close on several occasions, but the final hump was a simple one-on-one meeting with each employee. It's 250-some employees. We're the largest spa in the United States to receive the 5-star award.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and we're super excited. And that's what it was. It came down to it wasn't changing the physical structure.
It was changing the attitude.
It was changing that, having the staff completely buy in 100%.
So your staff knows?
They do.
So tell me how you got the news and how you communicated the news.
Oh, it's great. I'm so glad you asked that. So we have a nightclub called Jewel, and so we got the nightclub. We rented out the nightclub during the day, and again, a staff of 250 people. We're completely full with convention business, so we didn't have any opportunity for convention space. So we went down into the nightclub where everyone could fit, because again, finding space for 250 is not the easiest thing. And they had no idea. They just thought it was a general meeting to meet some people and just a general staff meeting. And then the director of the spa, her name is Stephanie Dowd, came and she said, we walked in as a 4-star spa, and now you walk out as a 5-star spa. And I will have to tell you, there was eruptions.
I got tears. You see tears in my eyes?
Well,
I got tears in my eyes.
No,
because I know what that feels like.
Incredible pride they must have felt.
Well, there were the yell that came up. I think they might have heard it all the way down in Atlanta from Las Vegas, because the sense of pride and people were crying.
It feels like
I'm crying.
It's like somebody hit 2 hard 8s in a row.
Yeah,
on the table.
people were emotional. Simply because of the journey and what it meant and the self-pride that they have. And we always say that our minimum standard is excellence. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that we're pretentious or that we're stuck up in any way. That just means our minimum standard is exactly that, excellent. And we want to do that in an environment where people can feel they can be themselves. But you can be excellent and still be yourself and laugh and smile and giggle and have fun.
And that is so important, because we were talking before about the standard of 5 stars for years has been the stuffy service. And I've been a person that is just completely opposite of wanting to hire people that are stuffy. I don't like being around stuffy people. Yep. I don't like going to stuffy cocktail parties. Right. I feel insecure around people like that because they're trying to make me feel that I don't belong. And so I'm really glad that you said this. So how do you do that?
Well, again, it's never ending. It's 7 days a week, and it's one-on-one all the time. And it's creating an environment where people feel comfortable being themselves. And we encourage that. We want people, I call it a culture of smiling. Mm-hmm. We want people to come in and see our staff smiling. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more warm, or when you're traveling, to come up and see a big smile on someone's face, or just a genuineness about them. And and that's how you do it. It's an atmosphere.
So it's really breaking it down to each and every interaction that you have with customers.
That's right. And we, in SkySuites, for example, we have an 80% return rate. And we get that from an interaction one at a time. And you get to know people. They become part of, we call it the Aria family.
You don't have another bone to pick with him.
Uh-oh. You do? I do. Uh-oh. I'm a little nervous too, Paul.
Not only he arrested me.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go,
right?
Especially when we're doing the shows, I am very fortunate that when we're doing the shows, that people allow me to stay in these gorgeous suites. So we showed one of their beautiful suites, which is just insane. So I go to my assistant, and I said, I'm staying here tonight, right? So no, they got you in a lovely suite, but not this suite. And I was like, well, I want to stay in this suite. And I was like, is it sold out? Because if it's sold out, I understand. They go, no, it's not sold out. And I was like, then I want to stay here. And then she says, no, you can't, Maria, who's wonderful. And then I went to my producer, and my producer said, little bald guy, you can't stay here. And I was like, no, I'm staying here tonight. And they're like, you can't. But I said, but it's not sold. It's like, yes, but they keep it. Do you want to say why they keep it?
We do. We keep it for the just in case.
Yep.
Right. Just in case the hotel guy comes, but apparently it doesn't matter.
No, well, at least they finally made it clear where you're standing is.
So tell them just in case.
But if he was dumping $1 million in baccarat, I'm sure that room would open up.
That's the just in case.
That's the just in case. And we do. We keep it just in case, and you'd be actually surprised. How often the just in case comes in? No,
I'm not really that. I wouldn't be that surprised because the whole city is precipitated on that.
So explain what the just in case is.
In case a high wagering gaming individual comes to town,
and then they just say, "Hey, I'd like to stay tonight."
Yeah,
because what's the difference if you don't have that room available? What happens?
They go somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then what happens?
And
they
then
can stay somewhere.
Well,
else, right?
I'm talking to him. Could you be quiet?
No, I'm trying. I looked at the last time we recorded. I said 3 words. I'm trying to make up for it in a desperate attempt to be heard.
Stop talking.
Because they would actually go. They go to somewhere else, and they would lose their money somewhere else, and we want them to stay with us for 2 reasons. One is. Obviously, we're in the gambling business too, and that's self-explanatory. But also, we want them to experience us. And it's interesting. Gamblers by nature, people think, oh, gamblers really don't care about service or the 5 stars. It's the farthest coming from the truth.
So not true.
Right.
I would say they want all of that stuff so they could focus on the gambling experience.
And you know, it's funny with SkySuites because I meet most of the guests that arrive and the customers, and you have done it right when the gaming guys are saying, well, we want to stay here because it's a 5-star hotel. Mm-hmm. Then you're doing something right, because traditionally maybe the 5 stars isn't as important, but I would tell you now the gambling team is very proud of staying there.
Right. And gambling is coming out of the shadows, right? There's a lot of, like, I love poker. And by the way, you have a great poker room. And
thank you.
I don't feel like dirty anymore telling people I love playing poker.
Right.
I'm not a degenerate. I play in $200 tournaments. I play once a month. And I play poker. Right. And I'm proud of it, whereas before you weren't. And where I play in New Jersey.
Yep.
And they always take care of you. It's always clean. It's always well serviced.
Correct.
Yeah, but to be fair, you do play at, I think, Borgata a lot, which is also in the MGM family.
It is.
So.
Oh, okay. So I'm allowed to say it. So what were you going to say, Paul?
No, it's gambling is a form of entertainment.
Right.
And as long as we understand that it's entertainment, and then it's a wonderful way to go and enjoy yourself.
And you guys set the stage for that casino gaming experience in a very high quality way. You know, I think about how when Aria was built, it was very different than the other products I saw on the Strip when it came to a design perspective, because it felt more modern luxury. It was a lot more cosmopolitan. It was very much 21st century as opposed to being rooted in the 99 Centrum cocktail.
No, that's absolutely right. When we built City Center in Aria, it was really unthemed, if you will. Or, because it's Las Vegas, you have to have a theme. It's all about art, architecture, and design. And we wanted to bring Las Vegas up into the more metropolitan feeling a city, an establishment. And Aria was built to stand the test of time. Now, little did we know in 2009 that we would be tested immediately.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and just so people understand that basically this resort complex opened right as soon as the Great Recession was starting.
It was.
And this resort was $10 billion plus. Some people say it's higher. Some people say it's lower.
Depends on which day the wind's blowing.
Exactly. A huge investment and a lot of panic must have come into
sure.
To the team.
Yes, it was. because normally I've opened the Mirage and I opened Treasure Island and I opened Bellagio and
you basically opened the doors to those and it was just field day from this first
95% full, and that's how. And it was not the case, but we stood the test of time, meaning that yes, times were difficult, but we knew ultimately what our core mission and values were. And we never veered away from it. And it would have been very easy to go left or go right, but we stayed true to who we are. We doubled down in our training. We doubled down on getting to know all of the employees. We got to know all of our guests, and now that has exponentially come back.
What was your hardest day during that period? Do you remember?
I don't know if a hardest day, but I will tell you what I remember the most.
Yeah.
We took 175,000 applications because this was during the Great Recession. And I would go every day to the application center, the employment center. And I remember seeing people's faces of hope. And hope is a very tangible thing, at least for me it is, because we were offering something that gave hope to people. And then the days that we were making the job offers and people would come in and bring their children in, and you could see it on the kid's face when their mom or their dad got a job offer that things were going to be okay. And I'll never forget that. It reminds me of how thankful and grateful we all are, and that stuck with me forever.
That's beautiful.
Well, it's impactful.
And you know what? Again, here, tears in my eyes again. It's because you humanized our industry. Because it's not about the high roller getting the suite. It's not about people winning money. What it's about those moments. So there's two moments at play in a casino like that. There's the moment where the gentleman and the young lady gets a job and their children are proud of them and they feel safe again. And it's also about, on the other side of the curtain, where the family that does come to your resort, that can afford to be there, and they give their children a special, a special vacation that they forget. So there's two things at play that really are impactful. And a person like you, and just knowing you a little bit, you never take that for granted.
Never.
And when people, the reason you've been successful, you have been, and the reason you've done the great things. I mean, just you mentioned, I opened this hotel and this hotel and this hotel and this hotel. I would love to be in your position, to be in an environment where I opened up the biggest hotels in the world, and you don't say it in a way like, look at me. You say it in a way it's like, how blessed am I to be able to do that?
I am. I've been with the company for 30 years, and I'm the most blessed person to run into. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm inspired every 10 feet I go by somebody doing something spectacular. And everybody has an incredible story. Mm-hmm. All of our employees. And you just have to take the time to get to know them. And boy, that is just, that motivates me all the time.
I remember going into your back of the house with my crew.
Yep.
And again, I turned to my assistant and go, I thought we were going in the back of the house. And she goes, we are in the back of the house.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean we're in the back of the house? There's a shoe shine guy there. And it was like, well, do you remember? I don't know if you were there.
Yeah.
And my director, I was like, he's in the back of the house. I said, yeah, it's for the employees. So I turned to him and I said to my director, hey, we're going to shoot this gentleman. I want to, he's the back of the house. He's there for the people that work here for shoe shine. This is amazing. It looks like we're like in the front of the house and this is for a guest. And he goes, we don't have any time. We don't have time. So we're running to do something else. I turned to him after the scene. I was like, you don't understand. I am not moving. There's concrete in my feet.
Yep.
Until we interview him. I want to know his story, and I want to know how excited he is about shoes. Because as soon as I walked in, he smiled at me, and he made me feel special. We're interviewing him. Unfortunately, his scene, we did shoot it. Unfortunately, his scene didn't make it. But I was no way, shape, or form leaving that hotel until I spoke to that gentleman. Because as soon as I walked in the back, he made me feel special.
I'm so glad that you brought up the back of the house. And we get questioned on that or asked about that all the time. And our back of house is equally as nice as our front of the house. And
100%.
Our gentleman who runs Public Area will tell you he is the most proud of the back of the house. And the reason we do that, and the reason we put on all of the money, could we do it cheaper? Yes, but the reason we put in all of the attention, the time, and the money for the back of the house is we're establishing and creating the culture when the employees walk in.
Right. I mean, how would they feel if they were walking into some stark environment that was just cinder blocks?
That's right. And we'd be hypocritical.
Right.
And we're not. And we we want to ensure that the employees know how important they are to the overall mission. And yes, we could do it cheaper, but the idea is that's money very, very well spent.
Right.
They are the
to
mission.
Create that's right, to create a culture. And when they go into the front of house, the team goes in the front of house, you feel comfortable.
Right.
You feel welcoming, and that's when you're able to put a smile on your face.
And you also have a great food and beverage program.
We do.
Back of house, all the MGM resorts have a similar thing. I recently toured back of house at MGM Springfield and spoke to their CEO, Mike Mathis, over there, and he shared the stories about how important the back of house is. And you guys can listen to that interview on the No Vacancy podcast series, also available on iTunes. But it's amazing to me how by creating all of that backstage, you create the real show for the public in front of house.
That's exactly right. And the employees feel comfortable, and they know the investment that we make in them, because at the end of the day, a building is a building, but the building comes to life through the employees.
I say it all the time, man. I mean, how many beautiful carpets, chandeliers, crap tables I've seen in my life, or beds I've slept in, or towels, or whatever. And I barely remember them. I really don't. I can't tell you the last time I saw a carpet that I was like, wow, and I'm a carpet guy, right? Or flowers or whatever. And yes, they stay with you for a second. But I can tell you that I don't remember how long I was there shooting.
You were there
for a couple days, 3 days?
4 or 5 days.
Okay. And I don't remember 90% of it. But I remember the young lady in the casino. I remember Shannon.
Yep.
Oh my God! I remember the driver.
Yeah,
driver.
I have to tell you, Don. And so I spoke to Don yesterday, and I told him I was coming out, and he says hello, of course, to you, and that made a lasting impression. He's to this day incredibly proud of that.
Well, we'll tell the story. At the end of the show, we do a show. You want to take a break, don't you?
I do, but tell your story first.
No, I want you to take a break first.
All right, so stick around, because after this message, we've got an amazing story from Anthony. So I can't wait to hear that, and we'll be back with Paul in just 1 second. Hey everybody, Glenn here. So listen to this. Cobblestone Hotels is celebrating their 10th anniversary, and man, have they accomplished a lot in the last decade. Already they have more than 150 hotels throughout the United States, but they're in smaller and medium-sized markets. Those markets that the big franchise companies, they're underserving, they're overlooking, and in some cases just ignoring. But Cobblestone is an expert in these markets. And their president and CEO, Brian Wagernes, listen, I've gotten to know him in the last 10 years, and he has worked every job possible, including being an owner and operator. I can personally vouch for how awesome this company is, how awesome he is as an individual, because he understands the importance of finding the right combination of hotel brand and franchise owner. He's also an incredibly dedicated professional. Whether it's a Cobblestone Hotel and Suites Main Street design, Borders Inn and Suites, or one of the newly acquired brands such as Boulders Inn and Suites, Key West Inns, Centerstone Inns and Suites, Cobblestone has brands that range from economy to upper mid-tier, and one that's right for you. Quite simply, Cobblestone Hotels is the franchise for franchise owners. Patrick Mullenix, well, he's Cobblestone's new president of franchise development. Give him a call or check out their website at cobblestonefranchising.com. But give Patrick a call. He's a great guy. I've known him for a really, really long time, too. You can find him at 920-216-0620. That's cobblestonefranchising.com. And tell him Glenn sent you. All right, and we are back. Thanks again for checking in with us. Anthony, you're about to tell a great story. Let's hear it.
But before that, what's amazing is when we're off air and we're taking that moment for our advertisers, Glenn actually counts to 10 to let us know that we're coming back. And it's just amazing that I just realized you can count to 10.
Just wait, Anthony. I'm working with a tutor now. By the next time we meet, I'm getting up to 12. No, do not set my goals too high.
So what's interesting about Don, okay, first of all, I'll tell you backstories about the ARIA.
Okay.
What's great, first of all, what's important about these stories, and I know this is about Paul and the ARIA, but is that we picked the ARIA. We had any hotel that we wanted in Vegas, and we picked that hotel for a specific reason. And it was because it was an incredible hotel. It was a new hotel. And just as important, when we do talk to people, executives in hotels, some of them make us feel like we're not that important. Now, I will tell you this. We have $1 million commercial waiting for you for free. Right. And if you're not going to treat, like my producer will come to me and say, did they get back to you? No, when did you call them 2 days ago? And I would say words that start with F and end in K. And I would say them. And I would say next. We didn't have to do that with them. They were the people we wanted to talk to. They got back to us, and they made us feel special. I'm just remembering it all now. Yeah. They're amazing to work for. They're the best people I've ever. Oh my God, they're so easy to work with. That made it a big deal for me. So we get there, we go through the show, and we interview different employees. And there was this gentleman, Don, who was a limousine driver. And the backstory to this was they wanted my director, Bill, who I love, was absolutely just fixed on me speaking from the back of the limousine, and Don was driving. Right. So Don and I are talking off camera as they're sitting up. I'm like, Don, this ain't going to work. And he goes, no, this is not going to work. I was like, I want to sit in the front with you. And then the director's like, no, it'll work. Blah, blah, blah. So about an hour and a half set up, whatever, we start driving. And I'm like, so Don, how are you?
That's right.
So we're like, so my director. So I finally talking to my mic. I say, hey, Bill, can we stop this nonsense? So we cut. We do it the proper way. We jump in the front seat. He brings me to that unbelievable Vegas sign, and he tells me stories. He used to be a singer.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And he sang on stages with Sinatra. And he's just telling, I'm driving through Vegas. I remember it like it was yesterday. Driving through Vegas in a stretch limousine. We're going to the sign, which I've never been to before, and you have this guy who's just out of he's like the manager of the bar of Casablanca.
That's true.
And he's driving and he's talking to me, and I'm just fascinated with if he said the. I was like, wow. He said the. Amazing. He just had every essence of Vegas in his soul. And he was telling me stories about Frank and just, I love that. And not only he was telling me stories, he was blessed that he was able to do this for a living.
That's right.
And that he was able to work here, and he was just so blessed.
And that you're getting exactly to the heart of the matter. He was able, and we encourage him to use his personality, his stories, his take on Las Vegas and luxury. And what it means to customers, and that's getting to know the guests. And people ask me all the time, how do you do that? And I always say the same thing, one at a time. And you just take the time.
And do you see when I was telling the story, my eyes were closed?
Yeah.
And I'm envisioning it because
100%.
It wasn't what he was saying, because I couldn't tell you really everything he said. I can't even remember the Frank Sinatra story, but I remember how he made me feel.
Right.
And I always say it's not about what you really say, it's about how you make people feel.
Nobody ever remembers what you say. It's all about how you feel after the experience.
That's right.
And it makes me wonder, Paul, how do you get people to deliver that experience by being themselves without perhaps maybe being too much themselves, because that might run into trouble.
I'm going to not let you answer that first, because I got to finish the story.
Yeah,
he's interrupting our story, Paul.
I thought you were done with the story.
No. He
Paul knows.
All right, go on, Anthony.
So at the end of the show, I give a $5,000 award for our 5-star favorite, my 5-star favorite. So I decide that Don's going to get the award. It's me. It's not by committee. It's me. Mm-hmm. My decision. So, my producers talked to me. I said, Don gets it, period, end of story. And I think they were all in agreement, if I remember. And they were like, well, we're going to do it in X space. And I was like, no. Think of Don. Think of old Vegas. I want it dark. I want it smoky. I just wanted to feel like Trump. The Freudian slip.
I was going to say
Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe are going to walk in and then present him with $5,000.
Where'd you go? The Golden Steer? Because that would have been.
That's exactly right.
So I wanted. You're not taking me seriously.
I take you very seriously. The Golden Steer is a very serious old school Vegas joint.
It's very good.
So it was really important to me because I wanted to do it right, and there was arguments back and forth. We don't have time. Blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm very aggressive. So I want it the way I want it, period. This is about Don. It's not about me. It's not about TV.
Right.
So I can't. Where did we finally have it? Do you remember?
We ultimately did it in the villa, but we actually highlighted or did a set exactly what you're saying.
Right. And no, we didn't know. We on the show, it was in that room. It was presented in in a steakhouse or something.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Right. So we go to
That's exactly right.
Yeah, we go to the steakhouse. We go to this room in the steakhouse. The lights were perfect. Everything was perfect. I felt like Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe were going to come in with the $5,000. It was unbelievable. Get him in his environment. You saw that he was comfortable. Give him an award. And he was just so humble.
He really was. I think at first, it gives goosebumps to me just thinking about it. Is he didn't know what to say to you when you did that, and he said that's what I do.
Right. And one thing about people like that is I worked with a gentleman at the Oak Room at the Plaza Hotel called Fred Christina. Fred Christina ran the Oak Room for 50 years. There's a plaque on the Oak Room wall about him. He was on CNN about it. 50 years. And DiMaggio, Monroe, everybody came. And he would tell you stories. And he was just incredible. So when I became director of front office operations, I would talk to him, and he always treated me like I was his boss. He was my employee. And that he needed to impress me to keep his job. And that's Don. Don was like, I hope I don't get fired. It doesn't come across that way, but he's like, okay, this is my job. I got to take it seriously.
Yep.
This young kid could be a 25-year-old kid is his boss, and he doesn't look down at that 25-year-old kid.
No.
He's like, this is my first day on the job. That's how his feel. Don, every single day comes to work. It's like his first day.
That's exactly right. And it's interesting, Glenn. You were mentioning, how do we do it?
Yeah,
all the time.
Thanks for bringing it back to that.
And thanks for saying that he was interesting.
Somebody has got to, Anthony. Thank you, Paul.
And I tell you this, and a lot of people say, oh, the hiring is the most important, and I actually agree with that. But here's my twist on hiring. We don't look for people necessarily that always have hotel experience. I don't believe in that. I look for people who look me in the eye, are genuine, sincere, thoughtful, and I don't care where you come from, because that ultimately is the person that's going to make you feel welcome when you come into your home. And that's how we do it. We span the globe for individuals who want to be part of a unique, fast-paced, dynamic environment where excellence is a minimum standard, and you can be proud to be yourself. And we look for that. And it's not easy, by the way, to keep finding them, but I'd rather keep searching and you find them. And now our management team that works with us, we've all been together. No one leaves, and because of the sense of pride that Anthony mentioned.
And you just said excellence is a minimum standard in a place that you're proud to be yourself. That's a mouthful. That is the most amazing thing that I've heard somebody say in a long time. Excellence is a minimum standard where you're proud to be yourself. People don't get that. And I've said it on this podcast. I say it every time I open my mouth talking about hiring. And I don't hire experience. I hire potential.
That's right.
And you said something. My children are now looking for internships, and they're in college. And what I try to tell all young people, it's, I don't give a crap what school you went to. I don't care where you come from, man. Just look people in the eye, especially nowadays, and just be sincere. And if you screw up in an interview and you're sincerely screwing up, you're going to get the job.
That's right.
If you screw up in an interview and you're trying to recover and look like something you're not going to get the job.
That's
so
exactly
if you made
right.
a mistake, but you're sincere about your mistake, people are like the person you make mistakes, Paul, right?
Yeah, every day.
So you can relate to that.
Of course. That's right. You just want people to be themselves, be genuine. And it's easier said than done. But there are a lot of folks out there that match all of those standards.
I'm curious, when the show came out, I'm sorry, Glenn, what's your name, Glenn, right?
Yeah, Phil.
Phil. So I apologize, but I've never asked anyone this.
Yeah.
When the show came out, what do people think about the 5-star show that we did at ARIA?
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah?
They loved it.
Good.
They absolutely loved it. We still talk about it all the time. We still watch it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. People loved it. And
Great.
it was, I can't thank you enough for what you did for us as well, because it was validation, if you will, that all of those Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock when nobody's around, and you're still doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and it's part of the core value and the core mission. And then you come along and you do this wonderful celebration, if you will, about what we've done, and it was impactful.
And thank you for not charging my credit card for that mistake I made up in the suite. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Actually, that one I don't.
Okay, we were pouring some amazing, very vintage liquor, and it was like it was like, I don't know, $1,500 a shot or something.
Oh my God!
And so now I always like to take care of my crew, right? Because I eat the best things, I stay in the best places, but my crew doesn't always. So I can't remember what I was drinking, but they gave me this amazing drink, and they said it was like $1,500 a shot or some ridiculous amount of money. Yep. So as soon as they cut, and I kind of knew what I was doing, I immediately, before they grabbed the bottle, I poured like 3 or 4 shots for my crew. And my crew's smart. They went right in there.
They were in.
So now, when we did that, one of my producers looked at me and go, "Dude, what are you doing?" I was like, "What am I doing?" I know what I was doing. Yeah. I'm not stupid. And they were like, "Don't pour anything. You can't pour anymore. Stop pouring it." I was like, "Okay, I won't pour it anymore." I was like, "But it's already out of the glass."
Yeah, That's
right. And I remember whoever was in charge there from your side looked at me like they wanted to kill me, my family, my children, my children's children. They were very nice. They were very respectful with a smile on their face. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that." And they were looking at me like, "It's fine.
That's right.
Fine. Don't worry about it." And I know they were walking away and go, "Oh my God."
No, it's the least we could do. I mean, no.
But my producers were very upset with me.
I would have praised you if I was the guy getting that scotch. That's for sure.
And it was good.
I want to talk to you, Paul, a little bit about what it's like having this massive resort there that has to stay relevant all the time. And one of the fascinating things about Las Vegas is that whole attitude of just knock it down and rebuild it. But you're not going to do that with a property of that type of nature. So what you're looking at is reinventing all the different individualized experiences that make up the overall component of it. What's that process like? What are you thinking about? When is it time for something to go? When is it time to bring in something new?
That's a great question. And we continually evaluate that all the time. Because the one thing I love about Las Vegas, and particularly about our company, is we're able to reinvest in the property. And sometimes restaurants, for example, may get a little older, and then it's time to bring in some new concept. Or in this, I'll give you a great example. We had a show. That we actually took the showroom out and we put additional convention space.
I will say, though, that was the best sound system I ever heard at any show in my life.
That's right. And we loved it. I loved the show.
Yeah, I did too.
What are we talking about?
The Cirque du Soleil Elvis-focused show.
That's right. And
that show's gone?
Long time now.
Yeah. We took it out and it built additional convention space in that location. Because that's what the customer was wanting. And we're so close now to T-Mobile and to the Park Theater at Park MGM right next door.
That's a phenomenal theater.
Phenomenal. And so we were able to not have a show. And it's funny, the Elvis, I thought it would be a wonderful hit, quintessential Las Vegas. And then when you talk to the folks that are all going to the show, and a lot of them said, "Elvis who?"
What?
Yeah. And,
are you serious?
Yeah. And so, everyone loves Las Vegas and thinks of Elvis, but people are younger. And
that's interesting because either way, it's
shocking, right?
Because when it comes to like those Cirque du Soleil shows, it doesn't really matter what that part of it is. It's the amazing human athleticism and
incredible.
Skills I've always been
incredible.
And then great costuming and all of that kind of stuff. So whatever the music was is really irrelevant.
I was a Cirque du Soleil performer at his theater.
Really?
No, I was.
It's true.
And you should have seen the amazing things I did. The stunts I did. Yeah. You have to watch the show.
I'm gonna have to watch the show. I'm gonna have to go.
And there was and it was really him too.
Yeah, it was no stunt double.
Stunt double.
So what do you think about on the floor when it comes to the restaurants? When it comes to thinking about how the floor is even laid out with all the different gambling machines and all that kind of stuff.
So it is. Whether you're talking gambling machines, restaurants, or anything else, you're always thinking about the customer and the experience and how they interact in the space. So a lot of it is observation of how do people actually work with the gaming floor, for example. Or in this particular case, I'll give you another one, is the concierge desk we just moved. We built a concierge living room lounge, and we took it out of the lobby, if you will, because I've always believed that when you're coming up to the concierge, you want to have a conversation, and you want to be able to develop your itinerary and plan your trip or a vacation. Well, in the lobby isn't always the nicest environment for that, and you have people, you're looking over your shoulder, and there's a line potentially behind you. So we wanted to actually create a lounge, a living room.
Fascinating. Where
people could come and you walk in and there's actually desks and it's a warm environment and you can have a conversation.
I think you do that at the Borgata, right?
We do. And you actually have a conversation. And what we have found is the number of bookings have gone up because people feel comfortable sitting across from you developing itineraries. As opposed to looking over your shoulder saying, oh, is there someone behind me, or you can't really hear it because it's the atmosphere is a little bit loud. So that is an example of how people interact in the space and coming up with a better alternative, not only for the company because they're making more reservations, but for themselves because they're able to sit in a relaxed environment and have a conversation.
What is the one technology that you've seen in the last couple of years that has really facilitated the guest experience?
So technology is very interesting in general. And when we opened...
I was going to say, you had that great system.
And we still do.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. Control.
But I meant at the time it was revolutionary.
It was. And
so talk about it.
So it's actually technology that controls all aspects of your room. And it actually starts when you first enter your room. And we call it
kind of debuts.
Yeah, we call it welcoming you, and the room turns on, and the lights come on, and the curtains come out, and the TV comes on with your favorite radio or music channel, and it sets the tone right from there. And then the technology, it controls all aspects of your room: temperature, lights, deadbolt, you name it. But the point of all of the technology was really technology not for the sake of technology, but technology for the ease and comfortability of the experience.
You just said it, technology for the sake of technology. Almost 90% of technology I see is technology for the sake of technology, and it pisses me off.
Right, and we didn't want that. We wanted people to actually feel comfortable using it, whether you're 8 or 80. You wanted to feel comfortable. Knowing how to use it, and that was very, very important for us. And it's turned out we've made modifications to that. You can now order. We have a tablet right next to the bed, our Crave tablet, where you can order room service right from the tablet, so you don't have the menu anymore. And our number of room service orders have increased.
That's great.
Or how about this one? You can order your Starbucks coffee from your room and go down and pick it up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I hate waiting on that line in the morning in the Las Vegas casinos. The lines are always so long.
So tell me the technology that when I'm sitting at a slot machine or a poker table and I have a scotch, and then all of a sudden my scotch is done, and like 20 minutes later another scotch comes and I didn't even ask for it.
Well, I'm not sure that there's technology. That is about the cocktail servers and folks watching you, anticipating and knowing that you're almost done, and they know what you drink.
Cool. They don't come over and ask me. They just place it down.
They just bring it. And that's just people knowing what you drink and keeping an eye on you and trying to be anticipatory.
So what's the next technology that you're looking at for your hotel?
We're always evolving in the guest room. And one of the things that we've just started to get into is mobile check-in, and where your phone is your key. Mm-hmm. And people seem to like that. People like it a lot.
Better than kiosks.
It gives them another option.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because I define luxury as options. So some folks just simply like to come right up to, if you will, a kiosk to check in. And a kiosk doesn't have to not be luxurious. You just make the feel and the environment and the process that you go through luxurious, and then therefore it is. And then your phone as your key, people can just bypass the front desk altogether. They download our app, and off you go. And people really like that. And we just did that in January, so it's truly in its infancy.
And you know what? It's so needed, because I don't care what hotel you're in, and I don't remember if there were lines at the ARIA, but any of these big convention hotels, any of these big hotels, there's lines depending on when you go in. And like I can't stand lines anymore. I just can't. I'm too old.
Yeah, I hear you. I like the kiosks for just that reason. And when you can just check in online and just show up at the hotel, or even if they pre-check you in and you just have to hit a button. I love that scenario.
The trick for us is to create that experience, a luxury experience in that atmosphere. Right. And you can, by the way.
So I'm a poker guy.
Yeah.
Tell me about, because I watch a lot of poker. And tell me about your poker room.
Poker room is...
The backdrop to your poker room is insane. I want to know about that.
Oh, the poker room is fantastic.
The one on TV where I see like the front of the Aria.
Yeah.
What is that? Tell me about that.
Oh, so it's our new Poker Central room, and it's an atmosphere, it's an environment where you can. It's a TV studio all around the poker world, and boy, it is. We designed it just for the poker tables and all of the camera angles and everything that you could possibly think.
Is that real? Behind
it's real.
Them? Like so what we're talking about is you have these high-stake poker guys playing poker, and believe it or not, I watch like 10 hours of poker sometimes on the weekend.
You love poker. Why wouldn't you?
So and one of the reasons I love that show is because I get to see the real front of the Aria or whatever side of the Aria it is.
It's true.
And it looks beautiful and luxurious, and like I want to stay at the Aria even though I have. And the room is beautiful. And the tables are great. And it's like, I think of all the poker shows I've watched on TV, by far, from, again, being a TV guy, a producer, and I'm watching it as a producer. I'm not watching it just as a poker guy. I think it's the best producer on TV.
Designed by poker players.
Right. Is it Phil Hellmuth's involved in there?
Yeah, and designed by poker players. And we can, so if you're going to do something and be the best at it, you want to get experts.
Is that
involved.
called the Ivy Room? That room?
We actually changed the name of the Ivy Room to First Card.
Okay.
It wasn't named after Phil Ivy.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
So we since changed that to we just have a new name now.
Okay.
But it's fun, and I have to say, our poker room in general. Is not for the faint of heart, meaning that you don't go in there as a novice. So Anthony over here,
he's a real deal.
He must be the real. Yeah, he's the real deal.
When I sit down at these tournaments, and I was just at a tournament about 3 weeks ago at the Borgata, and I sit down, and there's two guys that sit down, and I recognize from television. I couldn't tell you their names, and it was pretty. I was nervous because I know how to play now, but when I first started, and I really just started to learn how to play the right way. And they sit down, and I'll never forget this. There's one guy, he seems nice enough, and there's another guy that looks like he's just going to destroy everyone at the table. And relatively quickly, I realized this man is just bringing his reputation before he's bringing his cards. And I'd say by the second hand, I realized this guy's going to bluff me off of every hand.
Right.
So I bluffed him off of 3 hands.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, I went all in 3 times.
Yeah.
The high I got from that
was
insane.
I bet.
I just bluffed a professional poker player because he started playing with me, and I felt like a kid in the schoolyard, and I was being bullied. And I literally, my Italian from Brooklyn came out, I was like, "You son of a, you're not going to bully me off my hand."
Right.
And it's a tournament, so it's like a $200-$300 buy-in, so I'm not losing $20,000.
Right.
So it's like, what do I have to do? Go spend the $200 to buy back in? And I was like, we busted him. The table busted him.
That's amazing.
And I had to play in that. I was like, yes!
I know.
Where else? What other sport that you can sit down with a professional player and play against them?
That's exactly right. And that's what's great about our poker room in particular is you'll see the best of the best there. And you really are a good player because I always tell people, they're like, I think I'm going to go into the poker room. It'll be my first time. I'm like, please don't do that just for yourself because it's everyone in there.
If you don't know position, one of the things I'm learning, and I don't read books about it, I just watch a lot of your show.
Yeah.
And just position in poker is everything. Right. Where you sit. And if you don't understand that, and again, I read a professional poker player, and I was able to bust him because I read him.
Right.
And he was just every time he was about to bluff, he looked more aggressive. He went like he just stood. I don't know what it was about his posture, but every single time that he was about to try to bust me, he just looked more powerful.
It's called you knew his tell.
My tell. I knew his tell.
The tell.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so what I found fascinating about that, the reason I bring it up because I know I'm boring you about poker there.
No, you're not. It's just that we have to wrap up because we got to move on.
Okay, so one of the things that I love about that from a marketing standpoint. Casino gambling, correct me if I'm wrong, gambling is behind now food and beverage and entertainment.
It is.
So there's more money spent.
40%?
There's more money spent on entertainment and food and beverage than gambling.
That's right.
What your show does perfectly is it brings the entertainment, It brings how beautiful the ARIA is. It brings in that 5-star environment because it's a 5-star show, plus gambling. So if I'm watching that show, I'm not a poker player, I still want to go to the ARIA.
There are so many people that stay in SkySuites, high-end customers with us, that do not gamble. And they come strictly to stay in a lovely suite, to go to a restaurant, to go to shop, to have world-class entertainment. And by the way, we happen to also have a casino.
Right. It's becoming that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete entertainment. It's a complete overall hotel entertainment experience, and that's what we talk about.
Yeah, and I think in Atlantic City, it's taken a while for people to grasp that. Yeah. That it's not the guest isn't an afterthought.
That's right.
You know, and in Vegas, the guest was always put first. Now, Glenn just walked out in the hallway to probably tell our next guest that we're going to be 5 minutes, right?
That's exactly.
So now we're under the gun, Glenn.
Actually, I just snuck out of here because I can't handle the poker, but I love the Willy Wonka slot machine, so I needed to go get my fill.
So is there our next guest outside?
They are.
They're waiting for us.
You got it.
Okay, so we don't want to keep her waiting.
No, we do not want to keep her waiting. Paul, I really would love to keep having these kinds of conversations with you at another time. Maybe Anthony, next time we're in Vegas, we could get there together. We can do something
for sure
with some more.
100%.
That'd be great.
I'm going to play in that poker room. So tell us before we wrap up. Tell us something we don't know. Anything. Could be about you. Could be about anything.
Well, do you want a hotel one?
Anything.
First thing that comes to your mind. About anything that you want to.
So couldn't be more proud to be here today, speaking with you all, and I really appreciate your time, and I am so happy to be able to come to the 5-star event on behalf of our employees and represent our wonderful team. And that's what I want to say.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you. And again, we've shot so much television that I really haven't consciously thought of what your team meant to us as a production crew. And sitting here talking to you, I remember, yes, we shot a lot of TV over the years, but I remember how everybody made us feel. So thank you.
I will tell you that goes both ways because you were nothing but a class act when you were with us.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The staff has said that many times.
Well, thank you very much. And and then I do check in with Anthony and Glenn, and he takes me down a notch. But it's okay.
That's all right. What are you going to do? At least you like slumming it with me. So, there's something positive. Anthony, why don't you tell us something we don't know?
We have time?
If you make it real quick.
Something I don't know, or you don't know, that I played pool in one of the suites. And I ripped the pool table and I ran. No, that's not true.
We tracked him down behind the bush.
You did steal about $20,000 worth of alcohol.
No, we had a pool table and there was something else in the room that really shocked me. I couldn't remember what it was off the top of my head now. But the room, what you don't know is that room, I've been to a lot of rooms, and the windows in that room were like 37,000 feet. And just the environment of that suite that we're in, just the room itself, the living room, was overwhelming. Tell us something we don't know.
I was blessed to go to the opening of ARIA in City Center in 2009 when it opened. And what amazed me was that it was 5 minutes to like 11 p.m. when I think they opened up the doors to the general public.
That's right.
And they were still putting the resort together. Like I
don't know anything about that.
Yeah, the gift shop wasn't yet complete. And it was amazing to see, like, everybody freaking out that whole day. And then at 10:59 and 58
it all came
seconds,
together.
Everything was done.
Isn't that amazing?
And the people flooded in, and the place filled up, and it was so amazing to watch those first dice roll.
Yep.
What a special experience that was.
I will tell you something you don't know. Here, I'll tell you. The nights I remember the most are always the same. It's the day before we open a resort to the public because it'll never be like that again.
It's funny you said that because as he's telling the story, I'm getting emotional because I'm thinking of all those times that's happened in my career. And when you're saying that, I was like, on one hand, I'm like, he's such a novice because that's such a novice thing to ask or
right.
to he was so excited about it. And like, as you're sitting there and I'm sitting here, I'm talking about like, Glenn, that is the game. That's the moment. Yep. That is our Super Bowl. That's like, so that's you're right. Seeing that. It's like, oh, it's crazy. It's like, we got it.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, we got it, man. We know what's going to happen.
That's right.
And like, that is, I cannot tell you that moment is the biggest moment of our lives.
Well, for me,
absolutely
sitting on the
right.
sidelines and watching them put all the chips in the table and watching them play with fake money to test it all out. And
that's
all
right.
of that kind of stuff was just absolutely
that's the moment that we literally live for.
All right, so we totally got to wrap this up. And for you listeners, listening. You guys are going to hear another great interview in the next episode of Checking In with Anthony and Glenn. But, Paul, how can we find you?
You can find me at ARIA. I'm there all the time, and please just call my office, and we're always welcome and thankful to say hello to everybody.
And when you see Paul walking across the casino floor, the lobby floor, just say you know Anthony, and you get to stay in a SkySuite.
That's right.
Excellent. And
that's exactly right.
And tell him if you know Glenn, and you can stay over at the Hooters.
Not there's anything wrong with that. You can find me anywhere you want to be on the internet at Anthony Hotels. Where can we find you?
And I am at Traveling Glenn, and I have stayed at the Hooters Hotel, so just wanted to put that out there. But I do happen to like Aria also.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, and thanks everybody for listening today, and I said thanks for checking in.
It's Checking In with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's Checking In with Anthony and Glenn.